Hi, my name is Titanya Dahlin from EnergyMedicineWoman.com. If you don't know me, I am the daughter of holistic health pioneer Donna Eden, and I have been teaching with her since the late 80s. And I am also on her faculty at the Eden Energy Medicine Certification Program. I am an Eden Energy Medicine certified practitioner, as well as a certified Waldorf education teacher. And traveling and doing her work for many years, I've realized how much of an intuitive I am, and I've really had to accept that within myself. I didn't want to accept it when I was young because I didn't want to seem weird, and standing up here and telling you some of my thoughts is a little bit scary. And because I've always been a little bit criticized, bullied, and just plain weird. Now I honor that place of being weird. I love it because we're going into the Indigo age, and it is all about letting your freak flag fly. So in this talk, I am going to share with you a little bit more about the Indigo age and a little bit of this tail end of the violet that we are really moving through really quickly now, but there are some of us who are really still stuck in holding on to things in our life that we really should be letting go of. So I'm going to be talking to you about this, and the way I do it is through life colors. This is part of my intuitive gift, and I just sort of fell into it when my mother kind of passed this on to me almost 11-12 years ago. And I've been giving sessions of life colors. Now, life color sits in your auric field. It's on the 6th field of your aura. It's not your day-to-day, moment-to-moment aura. It's not even your etheric, which is the closest to your physical body. Those tell a lot about you, but your life color really shows up your lessons and challenges in life. And that's what I do. Also, how I am going to speak to you today is about the color on the planet, which has been here in its groundedness since the 80s. It was transitioning from the blue time with the 40s, 50s, 60s, and that transition was happening in the 70s when the violet was coming in, a little bit on the tail of the end of the 60s. So this is what I've done. I have researched intuitively and found different places in history where the life color has kind of shown itself. And so we've been in the violet age for a long time. We're moving into the indigo age, and for the last 10 years or so, indigo has been coming in really quickly. And the reason why I told you that it was a little scary for me to stand up here and just speak is because my whole life it's been hard to speak my truth. And that is what indigo is all about. It's about stepping into your power, into your greatness, into your own light, and really speaking your truth, but also showing up for your own life and letting go, the violet time, letting go of anything that wasn't working. And that is showing up for yourself. You do not need to hold on to the past anymore, even though the past with the end of the violet time is coming at us really, really quick. The indigo's coming in. That is a really quick energy. It's accelerating. If you haven't noticed, I mean, so many of us have noticed the acceleration for 10 years or more and talked about it back then, but since 2012 it's really sped up, and in this year 2016 really, really, really quick. So things are coming at you from the violet time that you possibly thought you were through with. People from the past, past issues, and even past life karmic stuff is coming up big time in your face, that you're like thinking, oh my God, I've had this experience, and you're starting to connect the dots where you realize that you gotta let it go now. You have to step into your power and not stay in those places of low self-esteem or self-doubt or anger issues or not forgiving yourself. It's not about that anymore, because Indigo energy is about stepping into the one world consciousness, into this global consciousness, which I talked about in the first message. Because we're stepping into this, a lot of you might be feeling a little shaky, especially if you're an intuitive or sensitive person. I say wear deep purple or dark blues, you know, really grounding yourself. Do anything you can to ground yourself within this time, you know. Find yourself a nice big boulder or take a walk in nature. And some of my mother's Eden energy medicine techniques, which I will do at the end of this message as well, to get you a little bit more grounded. You know, indigo is also, I'm not an indigo, but I love indigo energy and I love indigos, and I really resonate with them just because of my own past and being bullied and being criticized in my own past. You know, indigos are going to be rising up just like the violets rose up in the violet time. Violets came into power, and now they were also dealing with their life lesson. So whenever there is a life color on the planet, surrounding the planet, the whole planet, society is going through those lessons, those challenges, and those little bit of personality traits of that life color. The indigos right now are in their late 30s, early 40s. They were born 30 and 40 years ago, and especially those early indigos that came in had a hard time because they weren't with their tribe. All of a sudden, they all started being born, and they were being born to violet parents, which they were having a hell of it because they were being challenged, and the indigo themselves were being challenged. It went both ways, but a lot of misunderstandings with the indigo energy. Your time is coming up. It's going to be awesome because you guys have such great ideas for the planet in order to help the planet survive and in order to help us survive as a race. So, there is an amazing, wonderful energy with indigos, and it is also about the balance, keeping the balance. You know, some indigo energy was started in the violet. It's like a violet indigo kind of energy. That technology was created in the violet time. Now, Steve Jobs is one of those individuals who created a lot of technology, and he was violet and indigo, which is really interesting. But I started getting a little fearful that technology was going to rise and nature was going to diminish. But really, I think that it's all about the balance. It's about balancing technology and nature together. It's about balancing the light and the dark parts of ourselves, parts of our society. It's about balance. It's about really noticing the dark side, bringing it light, and noticing the light side, bringing it a little bit of the dark side. It's that yin and yang, and I feel like that is part of that indigo energy. It's also about balancing masculine and feminine, which I'm going to also talk about as well, because for years, I mean many years, really since the 60s, because the divine feminine has been rising up for a long time now, and really coming into her more and more of her power. But it is going to be looking differently because it is about the balance of the masculine and feminine, and not just the feminine rising up, although we need the feminine within the masculine within the feminine. It's that yin yang, that beautiful light and dark, where you see a little bit of the dark inside the light and a little bit of the light inside the dark. That's what it's all about, because there are certain women that do need to bring in their masculine. There are certain women that need to bring in their feminine. And vice versa with the males. The masculine needs to find his feminine and be accepted for it. And also be accepted for that supporting warrior that he is with the divine feminine. So, stepping into your own story, your new story, your story about light and positivity. Because if you're still staying in those old past stories that have kind of created you, because our cells hold the habits of those past traumas, and we tell ourselves that we are this and we are that, and we can't achieve anything, and we can't step forward, and we can't do this. if we're staying there, then we are also feeding the global consciousness. We are feeding the soup. If we are so depressed, so sad, and I know there's a lot of people who are in such a depressed state on this planet, and they don't know how to find the light. Well, there is always light within the darkness if you are able to find it. And those dark nights of the soul, you go down to the deepest, darkest place, and there is a bit of light. You just need to find it. Step one foot in front of the other and find those places. A flower blooms, one flower in the midst of winter. That is a place of bringing you happiness. You find these little places and you begin to grow it, so your cells begin to have a new habit. So this global soup, it's the global consciousness of indigo. If you are beginning to feed that soup within yourself and bullying and criticizing yourself, which is also part of that indigo energy, it is, because there are a lot of indigos that are angry and frustrated because they aren't seen for who they are. So that is an energy that comes up, but it is also about stepping out of that and not realizing, oh my God, this is going to happen again to me, stepping out and creating something new. And so don't eat the soup. Don't eat the soup, even if you're tempted by the soup, because then if you are a healer, if you are somebody who wants to help the planet survive, then you aren't doing it by going into your own stories and feeding that to yourself and bringing in that negativity. If you're hanging around with negative people, that's also not so good either. You gotta step out and be that place. Be the one that you want to see heal the world. You want to be the light. So don't eat the soup. There is so much fear around the planet too, and it's not about standing and going, oh my gosh, this is going to happen and I'm so fearful if that's going to happen. Well, if it hasn't happened yet, don't think it. Don't stay in there. You need to go to a different place, and love is greater than fear. You go to the place of love, bringing love to the planet, bringing love back to yourself. That's a big one. Having the courage to step forward and speak your truths to whomever in your world that needs to hear it, but also loving yourself. That's huge. So we are at the tail end of the violet age, and it is about time speeding up. But if you can ride that time, time, that speeding up of time is an indigo energy. It's an indigo thing. And, indigo energies, they manifest quickly. So if you can ride that time rather than feeling, oh my God, where did 2 and 3 hours go, which most of us are feeling, sitting at our desks and thinking it was only 15 minutes. If you can ride it and you can put in your intention and manifest what you want, things will come to you a little bit quicker. And so that's really quick. But it is this place, this tail end of the violet, which is saying, are you ready? Are you ready to evolve? Are you ready to go to the next place? And this is why your past is coming at you. Past life experiences are also coming in greatly. They're kind of triggering you in different forms in this manifestation of this lifetime, but they're coming in. And I bet a lot of you are noticing it. But it is about letting it go and stepping forward into this new place. We have an eclipse just went by. We have 2 more eclipses this year, and it is about really seeing our shadowy selves. And so there's a lot of darkness and stuff that we haven't looked at coming up this year. I'm thinking of something else, that monkey energy of the Chinese horoscope. That is about fast moving and quick moving energy too. So you have that as well. And one of the things about monkey energy and about indigo energy is one of the lessons is about having patience. Patience is a big lesson. Patience for yourself, patience for what is happening, not getting so frustrated. That's going to be a big one coming in. So, let me see if I said everything I wanted to say. Okay, so what I want to talk to you a little bit about is about the politics. And I'm not somebody to talk about politics. My mom is, if you didn't know that. She loves to talk about politics. But politics. Okay, so there's a lot happening in the world and a lot to be fearful for, or really scared, but really it's not. It's going to the other side and bringing more light into the world. So it's really interesting to me because the divine feminine is really rising, especially in individuals and groups, this divine feminine energy, and it is what we need to really help the planet survive, this balance. It is a balance. But as the divine feminine rises, there are certain individuals who want to keep it squashed, and in the Middle East, it's a big thing. ISIS. How come they named their system, their group, ISIS? Interesting, isn't it? Because ISIS is a powerful Egyptian goddess, and she moves through all different energy systems in different forms. And at first I was thinking, oh my God, why would they call their group ISIS, and what does it do to her? And yes, they're trying to suppress the woman once more, that feminine quality which was once very powerful. But at the same time, her name has come to the surface. So it's kind of like they got bit in the butt. Where people who were Googling ISIS also got this beautiful, amazing Egyptian goddess. So the balance was being held in a different way. There's also a lot of bullying in politics going on right now, as if you can figure out, and a lot of monkey business. So it's very interesting with the monkey rising in the Chinese horoscope, and also in politics. There's a lot of bullying and there's a lot of monkey business. So, and it's surprising and not so surprising to me, and very interesting that Donald Trump is there in the politics, because Donald Trump is a green life color. Now, greens like to have a lot of power, and they like to hold on to old-fashioned ideas that don't work anymore. And the indigo is about thinking about outside of the box, thinking about things that possibly never were thought about before. But that green energy holds on. And embarrassingly enough, America is a green country. We are the biggest, we are the best, we have it all. Come on over and we'll take care of you. Some greens will think that, some others not. But it's very interesting to me that you have green there in Donald Trump, and some other people. You know, Hitler was also green. The military is green. They are loyal. They are trustworthy. They'll take care of their own. And there's a lot of money going into the military. And there's a lot of money going in with Donald Trump. So that is a financial sustainability color as well. There's a lot of wonderful things about green, but I just wanted to tell you about that. Then we have Hillary Clinton, who is a yellow violet. Almost opposite colors there, but not quite. Both yellow and violet also like to hold control in different ways. Yellows are very organized. They speak as they think, so they're really good at debate. So is green. And green and yellow's getting into it? Whoa, that's a really good debate. But it's very difficult for one of them to win, because they are so into that place of leadership. Usually greens are hiring yellows to be secretaries, and it's great when they're on the same team, but when they're on the opposite teams. Then you have her violet, which is also about that lesson of letting go of control. She is on a spiritual path in many different places in her life. So she is kind of looking at herself. She is kind of looking at her own psyche and trying to make sense of it all. And so that is part of her. And then you have Bernie Sanders, who is a tan. He kind of keeps the balance of these two. He's not going to get into it so much. He's a tan. Tans are stable, they are secure, and they look at everything around them that if you're going to get into trouble, or they make things safe. That's what I could say about a tan. And they're kind of like father knows best kind of kind of things. And the tans way back in the blue time, back in the 40s and the 50s, were marrying blue women who were the nurturers, the caregivers. And that's a whole different other story. But I think that's about it. One of the things I want to say is that before I leave you is just be aware of grounding yourself more, because the sun's energy with its eclipses, the moon's energy, especially on the full moons, they're very, very intense. We have the solar flares going on. We have the polarity shifts in the earth, which can really make a lot of chaos within our own lives and within our own energy system, in your own grounding nature. And really let go of your own stories, because if you stay the victim, then you can't help heal others, and you can't help heal the planet, and you're not doing good for the global consciousness, and you're just really feeding it. You're feeding the soup, and then you're feeding your own self that soup. You're giving your own self that poison, and it's magnifying because of the one world consciousness. So don't give in to the fear, don't eat the soup, and stand in your own light. So, as I end, I'm going to do a exercise with you to just help you stay grounded. So I want you to find a nice place on the earth, or in your room, in your home, or by your office desk. And I want you to first just kind of zip yourself up. A place of protection, and I'm going to just open it all the way up. And then I'm going to do it on the back, all the way from your coccyx, all the way up to the spine, around your head, and end at the top lip. We're going to rub your hands together. And we're going to do the 4 thumps. And as we do the 4 thumps, we're going to just imagine. We're going to come down to the spleen area underneath your breasts or your rib cage, and we're just going to just give ourselves a little bit of love, and you can tap if you want to, and you're just going to bring in, so spleen is about metabolism, and you're going to imagine that you are just standing in the balance, and you are stepping out of your own story, and you are metabolizing all the energies that are coming in through the indigo energy and letting go of the violet. And you're going to tap, and you're going to just kind of bring in with me, I stand in balance, and I metabolize any emotions or any experiences that come my way for the better, and I recycle it with positivity, light, and good, and I step forward in my own truth. Breathe in and out. Let's come up to your thymus. Your thymus is this bone in the middle of your chest, kind of like Tarzan, and you want to thump your thymus, and I just want you to bring in, because it sits on the heart chakra, love to yourself, and just acceptance, forgiveness, and just hold the heart chakra, just bringing in love and acceptance, forgiveness. I forgive myself for the past and for all my challenges and mistakes, knowing that they were part of my lesson. My lessons in life, and I know this was for creating and making me a better person, to stand in my own light. Let's come up to your K27, get that juice from the earth's energies all the way up into your kidney. Here we are at the kidney meridian. We're going to bring up that juice of life. This is called the wellspring of life. energy, this energy pathway all the way to this point right here, from the earth to this point, and we know that our life is just going to get better and better and better. Bring your hands up to the stomach points right underneath your eyes, these two little bumps on your cheekbones, and these are our grounding points. We stay grounded here, and we know that we are going to stay firm and stable and grounded throughout this transition. Big breath in. Let's make a heart around your face, around your ears, down to your heart chakra. And 2 more times. Breathe in and out, bringing in the joy. And stay on your heart chakra, knowing that you are in the right place at the right time. And we are going to step forward into the indigo age and meet our dreams, meet what we want in life, and know that things are going to get better. Thank you so much for listening to my message. My name is Titanya Dahlin from EnergyMedicineWoman.com. Blessings on your journey.